Let's get started.
J.C. Sherbert. Woo! 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 Woo!
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
The electricity here in Columbia, well, has been buzzing loudly all weekend.
Passion of the crowd in Williams-Brice Stadium is second to none.
And the rave breaks out in Columbia.
It is good!
Gamecock fans, welcome home.
See how it goes, but we'll be ready to go.
It's time to root.
Let's go, Carolina! It's gone! Touchdown! What a hit! He baked it in! Can you believe it? Gamecocks have won this game!
Here are your hosts, J.C. Sherbert.
Oh, watch him celebrate now!
Phil Molinex.
My wife doesn't like hanging around losers.
And Jamie Bradford.
I'm going to tell him, you look like you joined Duck Dynasty.
All right, greetings and good morning. Welcome aboard Inside the Gamecocks, the show live from the Signarama Studios and teed up by travelingcountryclub.com. JB, JC, and Phil here until 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we've got a full boat in store for you between now and then. In just a couple of minutes or less, we'll bring in our friend and yours, everybody's friend, Perry Orth, former quarterback at South Carolina. The Gamecocks just a few days away from the 2023 spring game. So we'll get some insight on that. And just like the last time, if anybody's ever heard Perry on the air, whether it's been on my shows before here on this one, 107.5 The Game, wherever it is, I think you probably figure out pretty quickly. He knows what he's talking about, and he's pretty good at talking about it. So we'll get into a bunch of Carolina football stuff with Perry. Coming up at the top of the 12 o'clock hour, we will be joined by Michael Haney, former sports radio host on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. Many of you, like me, listen to him daily with guys like Mike Morgan and Deuce Staley. That show was just probably the best ever. But he has, as we all know, taken another step in his career, and he's in Nashville, or Nash Vegas, if you will. And he's got a new hit song out that is making its way through Gamecock country. You've heard it on our program every day. It's called Born to Crow. He'll be playing with Patrick Davis and those guys before the spring game gets going on Saturday afternoon just outside of Williams-Brice Stadium in Gamecock Park. So not just music and songwriting with Haney. He is very well versed in the sports world, and we'll just have a bunch of fun with him. You will love that conversation. Carolina wins again last night. They're a win shy of 30 on the season after taking down USC Upstate. We'll get there. The softball team blows a late lead to Clemson. We'll get into some of that. An incredible college baseball record was set yesterday, and I do mean incredible if you haven't heard about it. We'll get to that. And the ladies, bonjour, if that means anything to anybody. So we will get to that as well. But first and foremost, JC, I got my Big Spur hat on again today. I'm working on the brim. It's getting there. But I do love it, and I wear it often. Phil, the bald head just looks good, my man. What's up, guys?
Not much. Looking good today. Glad to talk to some football. I realized yesterday it was probably the most football we've talked about in a while here on the show, and that's kind of my wheelhouse. So I'm ready to roll. I got fired up about it, thinking back of all the topics that we kind of went through. So I'm looking forward to talking about that today.
Well, we can start now because Perry Orth is waiting in the wings to jump in and join us. The former quarterback at Carolina turned elite high school football coach, married man. You're not a dad yet, so you haven't taken that step, but you got all the other steps covered. What's up, dude?
Another day, brother. Another day. Just trying to make it happen, trying to live up to this elite high school football coach title that I apparently have now.
my man Perry Orth is a Miller Lite guy, for those wondering.
Yeah, I appreciated your text the other night when you caught my hint, trying to be politically correct while also letting everyone know what the deal is.
Oh, I was
laughing. I'm a Miller Lite person myself.
No doubt.
I'm a Miller Lite person. I have been since when G.A. Mangus actually got me because he would drink Miller Lite, and a couple times I'd go have beers with him. I was like, well, just give me a Miller Lite too. And I was like, this tastes better than Bud Light.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It tastes even better than Bud Light now. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But
Spurrier's a Coors guy, right?
Yeah, so we're good. He's good there too. He's in the clear.
I don't know, man. It is, but man, I've never. You would think Coors Light with all there's the taste of the Rockies and it's all this beautiful water from the mountains, and you think that he tastes like battery acid. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know. I'm a Miller Lite guy.
He's an original, right? Doesn't Coach Spurrier drink original Coors?
Yeah.
Banquet beer.
Yeah.
Shoot. Give me a Coors. Shoot.
Fill that Sprite can after a long football game.
Man, dude, I
miss that guy.
I won't go down, I won't go too deep at all because, some stories just aren't for the public. But Robbie Lyles has told me a ton of great beer stories with Steve up in his office. After games, after practice. Robbie, come on up here, son. Bring you a 12-pack while you're at it. But anyway. All right. So it's spring game week, Perry. It's amazing, really, that the spring has flown by like it has. Spring practice has.
Yeah.
what's this? We'll talk a little bit more about this team. I'm not sure how much you've learned about any of the new guys or any new information that's come out or anything like that. But just from your experience being a college quarterback, being a college football player, leading into this game, you haven't played an actual game in 4 months, basically, and then you get to kind of run out there and do it. What's this week like from a hype standpoint, but then also, trying to kind of bring everything into this game that you've been working on for the last 3 or 4 weeks?
Well, yeah, I think, it's not necessarily, well, let me take that back. You definitely get excited. You do get excited to perform in front of a crowd. That's always a big thing with it being at night and under the lights. That's obviously going to be cool. I hope there really should be a good attendance this weekend with baseball being on the road. Mm-hmm. So we're not necessarily competing with any other large event that I know of. But it should be a great event. I think with it being at night, it will allow more people to get out there than during the day. It will be cooler than, I played in some spring games where it was 85 degrees and it was just blistering. I'd meet my parents after the game and they were just bright red from getting beat to hell by the sun. And so it should be a good event. But the players, they get amped up really where the younger guys get amped up. Those are the guys that are kind of my first opportunity, my, real opportunity to perform in front of the Gamecock, fans, people like Lenora Sellers, right? He's won a state title 3-4 months ago. And now he's performing, in front of what will be the largest crowd he's ever played football in front of. And so he'll have the opportunity to put on a nice show for everybody. And, a spring game, it's fun. They do 2001, they run out, they'll probably play Sandstorm and it's cool to kind of get back in it. But we all know it's nothing like a real game. But it is neat to see some of the young guys play well. Every spring game, there's always somebody that stands out. Like for instance, a couple of years ago on Coach Beamer's first spring game, how do you say the running back, the kid that came from Florida State? Wasn't Zaquandre, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran all over the place. I had no idea who this kid was. And different people like that come out of nowhere and show that they're capable of making plays. And then fast forward 4 more months, and then you saw him making plays on Saturday nights in the fall for Carolina, which is, really what you want to see. And then, I'd like to see good, clean football. You don't want the quarterbacks out there throwing interceptions. You want to see high efficiency on offense and just good, clean football, because when you start slopping around, that's when it gives people, heartache. But I don't expect that. The guys are now in year 3 of the program. They know what to expect. They know Coach Beamer, has got things rolling and he's got a good grip on what's going on now. And had the opportunity to go out to a practice during the coaches clinic and just love watching the guys compete. That was the one message Coach Beamer gave to all of us high school coaches, was they compete from start to finish. And the way that they fluctuate practice from high intensity from the start, and then they tamper down towards the middle, and then a high intensity period in the middle, then they kind of tamper down a little bit. And at the very end, it's another high intensity to kind of simulate the ebbs and flows of a game. So pretty neat how they do things, and it just cool seeing the guys compete.
I didn't know that's how they did it. That's actually, I've never thought about that. Probably why no one's ever asked me to coach football. A guy that I think is going to be really a focus this week for, I'm sure, certainly for the coaching staff. I'm not sure how much he'll really play, Perry, as the game goes along, but definitely for the fans is a kid that very, very, very well, DeCarrion Joyner. And I know you worked with him as a quarterback. You know this kid. He's a father now. Quick plug for Carolina Rise. He's going to be at both events, April 27th and April 29th, 27th in Columbia, 29th here in Charleston. So get those tickets. I don't know that any of us, I don't know anybody that could really speak on what he has endured as a college football player, Perry. He was a high school quarterback. He was an elite high school quarterback. He came in. He's played wide receiver. Now he's a running back. I'm not sure if you've heard anything as to how he's doing. I talked to a source this morning who said he's looked really good and this isn't, I'm not talking about Coach Beamer, what he's saying publicly. I'm talking about somebody behind the scenes who said he's looked really good. Can you tell us about DeCarrion? I know you know him personally.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about him and why you think this might work out for him?
Yeah, I mean, if we had 110 DeCarrion joiners on our team, we would be in a really, really good position. He's a guy that he's bought into being a Gamecock. Every time he plays, he's always full speed. No, regardless of the production. Every time, whether he's been at Wildcat QB, slot receiver, special teams, he's always going all out. And he loves his teammates. He's an amazing leader and locker room guy. I mean, you just cannot make enough people like him. And now, because of our lack of depth at that position, we all know he's fantastic with the ball in his hand. And he's a big guy. I mean, I don't know the last time you guys have seen him in person, but he is huge. I mean, he's got to be at least 215 pounds. So he's a guy that if he's okay with the physicality, he's going to be able to get north and south between the tackle box and make plays. And like I said, he's electric with the ball in his hand, and he'll be somebody and another weapon that we can use to just make plays. And if they use him right, like I expect them to, and we'll see Saturday night, he's going to have a good special year. And if, he has a great year, then he can progress and be a special teams guy and play at the next level. And you just really never know from there. So I'm excited to see his production. But like I said, man, I mean, if we had 110 DeCarrion joiners, I would tell you right now, we would have a shot to play for the SEC title. And I'm not saying that we don't, but I'm saying I could tell you pretty verbatim that he's just a guy that, you want to replicate him throughout your program.
Perry, every time I've seen DeCarrion play and it's kind of broken him down, I know special teams he's really good at. But compared to receiver versus quarterback, it seemed to me he's got a very natural ability with the ball in his hands at quarterback. Yeah. I've always thought that was his best position, to be honest. I mean, people try to move him all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Just kind of a knack for doing it. It's not always pretty, but he knows what to do with the ball in his hands. He's extremely elusive. So that's vision. Well, that's a certain type of vision, as you know, as a quarterback. How would that translate to running back vision, which I would think would be a little bit different, but which also is a very important part of a running back. Marcus Lattimore and Demetrius Summers didn't run 4.8, 4.7, but those guys both had tremendous vision at that position. I could follow the open space blocks, whatever you want to say. So to kind of break that vision part of it down, the difference.
I think you're exactly right. I think that I would agree that his best position so far that we've seen him is at quarterback. He's not a receiver. There's a bit of an art. There's there's some fluidity, if that's even a word, of being able to move, vertically side to side, get in and out of breaks quickly, and then sprint immediately out of them. And catching the ball naturally is a little bit of a different thing. And then catching and getting hit, like if you're not used to it, it's not exactly as easy of a transition as you might think, just because we've seen it on Sundays. But when it comes to ball in the hand and avoiding people tackling him, that's where he's the most gifted at, as a football player. Whether it's in the shotgun and running the power read from the Wildcat, or running zone read, or running quarterback counters. You're starting to see it now in college football. I know Kansas did a little bit of it last year, but virtually with Spencer and DeCarrion in the backfield, you can play a 2-quarterback system, where I've seen Kansas do it, where they give it to the running back on an outside zone, it turns into a rollout, and he's throwing a smash concept and hitting a corner in the cover 2 gap between the corner and the safety. The things that you can do and get creative with 2 guys like that is pretty awesome. But you're right. When you're running the ball out of the backfield, he understands the dynamics of when that tackle or guard or whoever kicks out. I know to get north. If I know that guy's going to wrap, he knows to bounce. He's been doing it since he was 9 years old, right? So I'm really intrigued to see how he handles the physicality of the position, how many carries they expect to give him, and then how his body handles it. But like I said, he's a big kid, and if he can handle it physically, I think he could have a pretty good year.
Now, the high school coach that faced off with him, I won't mention his name, but he used to coach at Dorman, so you guys can figure it out. I told a buddy of mine that the kid, after they played Fort Dorchester twice, he's the best running back in the state at the time. I guess that was 2018 or so. And I like I said, I never thought, I thought maybe corner because of his footwork, when I evaluated him out of high school. But, I've thought, quite frankly, he's got some special things that he does with the ball in his hand in the backfield. And it's very natural and comfortable. And like you mentioned, making people miss and all that, being elusive. So that's good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah, he's very shifty too. He's a big dude. I can't say that enough. So when you make quick cuts like that at that size, it's going to be hard to bring you to the ground. So those arm tackles kind of slip off of you. And then the other thing, like you said, it just looks natural. It comes naturally to him. When he runs the football, he's running. I mean, he runs hard. He runs like a mad person. I mean, he does well. I hope he can do the same. And I'd really, like I said, I'd love to see him in this offense, get creative with him and Spencer in the backfield of, doing, toss plays out of the pistol or even out of the gun where he catches it, takes a few steps and throws it. So there's a lot that you can do when you have somebody who's used to being back there in the shotgun, who can and has the ability to throw, whether it be trick plays or have that as part of your offense. I mean, there's a lot you can do with a talent like that.
Doesn't it seem like that's part of the clean slate that Coach Loggins has had to work with? I mean, we've heard him say often this spring that this is an evaluation period and that they're kind of trying to figure out what everybody can and can't do. I don't think, based on what I carry, Perry, you might know something totally different, but based on any information that I have, it doesn't sound like this is going to be anything near what we've just gone through the last couple of years from the basically understanding the offense, trying to get your guys to get it. But at the same time, like, it's not going to be vanilla. I mean, I don't know how much time you spent around Coach Loggins, but he does have a lot of different roads to travel down in order to kind of bring this playbook together. And it just seems like maybe this is now kind of when they thought about moving to Kerryon Joyner back there, I guess what I'm saying is like, actually, not only could he be a running back, but actually this might allow us to do a couple of other things we couldn't do before.
Yeah, I think that you're right. And spring is an evaluation period, especially for a new coach. You're going to put the kids through individual drills, right? You see them move in workouts and you have an idea of where you want to put them. But until you put pads on, put the ball in their hand, let them run around and get a feel for how they move and react and just simply play, then just where people need to be, which is how DeCarrion has ended up at running back. You look at him and, like JC said, and when you watch him, you can tell like the guy's good with the ball in his hand. So he's not going to play quarterback. Well, then what other position on offense do you play to get the ball in your hand? You play running back, right? So process of elimination there. So, yeah, I mean, they're doing good. And then, what I've heard about Dowell is two things that I've heard just repeatedly amongst people that are coaching, players that I've run into just in town, guys that know him. Simplistic from a technical standpoint, easy to understand, and the verbiage is not lengthy. It's, formation, motion, protection, pass play, go play football. Just like every other offense, you'll have your formation, and then, if you have to tag certain things, you'll tag it, but it'll be trips right, the name of the pass protection, and then the pass play, or trips right with a motion, pass protection, pass play. It's easy to understand. And then the other thing is that everybody seems to really enjoy him being a part of the program. I know the quarterbacks have really, really liked him being there. He's coached the position for a long time. He takes the NFL approach. He takes the Bill Walsh approach. I'm listening to his book right now, The Score Takes Care of Itself. And Bill Walsh was kind of the first coach to come about like, maybe I don't scream and curse at everybody. Maybe instead of doing that, I actually teach them what to do. And I think he has taken the role of a teacher over than a football coach. And so I think the kids have really appreciated that. And I'm hopeful that will translate into big production. Now, we won't know that until we play in September, but a lot of times that stuff translates, and I'm excited to see that when it does. But yeah, nothing but good things from Coach Dowell and about him.
I don't want to put you in a weird spot because we're not in the business of throwing people under the bus around here. That's not what this is about. You got a good name with Carolina, but isn't there a difference in being a quote NFL guy and a guy who's coached in the NFL? Because I've heard that a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, actually been in NFL. Like, there's guys who've coached in the NFL, and then there's NFL guys.
NFL guys, yeah. I mean, that just comes with time and experience and people that you've learned from, right? Like the same thing I use with my quarterback training stuff. It's like, I'm not a good coach. I've just been tutored by some really good quarterback guys. Yeah. And that has enabled me to echo the message that they taught me. And I'm just relaying that to you. Now, the attention to detail and how you go about carrying yourself every day on and off the field and all of that good stuff translates into you becoming a good coach. But when you talk about being an NFL guy versus having a brief stint in the NFL, right? Yes. Like, I mean, there's an enormous difference there. And, just like there's an enormous difference between knowing offense and being a brilliant football mind and calling plays. Those are two dramatically different things, right? You might be able to dominate anybody in a whiteboard meeting and a whiteboard contest with the last guy with the pen wins. But if it's 3rd and 7 and you're playing Clemson and there's 85,000 people in the stands, and the one play that you had that you wanted to run during that situation had worked all day, and you got to come up with something different, and they've been giving you different looks. Like, how are you going to ebb and flow and adjust what you are calling and how you want your offense to look throughout the course of that game and that play and that drive? It's not a calculated formula. It's more of an art, right? Whereas offense, you can, like, this is where you line up. This is how you do things. This is how this is the depth you run your route. But when it comes to calling plays, it's a little bit different. So it's like in recruiting, and JC knows this is as well as anybody. You might be able to evaluate 50 high school quarterbacks, and you might say, well, hey, this kid, he can throw it, he can run, he can do it all. But when he goes to college, like, JC doesn't know how much this kid's going to like alcohol, drugs, and girls, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's between part of what evaluating is it's football's so much about what's between the ears and what's in the chest. And that even the NFL guys don't get it right, because you have guys that like the college lifestyle, like you said, Perry, that go, you never would know. You can't determine that. And then you have guys that just straight up, they get up to this level, they just don't want any. They're just like, I'm done playing. These guys are too fast and tough and whatever. And that happens too. But yeah, quarterbacks, I got Cam Newton right, and that was about it. So
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, and so
it's not bad.
When you talk about and sometimes it might be the NFL guys are just so stuck in their ways because they're an NFL guy, and the guys that had a brief stint there. So it's quite the puzzle trying to piece together not only somebody who's knowledgeable about football, but who can put and piece games together. And I mean, that's why those guys make $1 million plus a year, because it's a challenge.
So we know about Spencer. We know about Luke. Luke's having a really good spring for those wondering. He's been good. The rest of these guys are young, haven't played. Braden Davis, obviously Lenore Sellers, hadn't heard much about guys like Colton Gauthier, Tanner Bailey. What can they achieve this weekend? They're all going to get their chance to play. What can they achieve in this game?
When I was at practice, it reminded me a lot of when I first got to South Carolina, which was in January of 2013. You had Connor Shaw and Dylan Thompson. Everybody knew those guys. And then you had every other quarterback nobody really knew. I mean, you knew him as like a recruit, but not like you didn't know their capabilities of a player on the field or anything like that. And you're going to see a lot of mixing and matching and changing of depth chart. I do believe that in time, just based off of the eye test and what I have seen, whether it be from high school and or just watching the kids throw. I mean, Lenore Sellers seems to be the next guy up. I don't, whether he is capable of beating Luke out next year or not. I don't know. I don't know if he'll have it mentally or really emotionally at that point. You never know. I mean, but he is a gifted dude. But listen, Tanner Bailey throws the heck out of the ball. He's another undersized guy like myself. He can spin it though, man. I mean, it'd be interesting to see these kids lead an offense for consecutive drives, right? Then after Lenoris and Tanner, you've got Colton and the kid from Maryland. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Braden Davis.
Braden Davis. Yeah.
Braden Davis. Yep. So you've got those guys down there at the bottom that provide the room some depth. But when the lights come on, I'd imagine that Spencer will get a couple of drives, and then they'll really turn it over to the young guys and let them compete on a big stage. And really, at the quarterback position in a spring game, you want to see efficiency. You want to see the chains being moved and the ball being taken care of. Those, as somebody that would evaluate a spring game or somebody that now evaluates spring practice for my high school kids, I want to see clean football. I want to see the chains being moved. And I don't want to see interceptions. And however we got to do that, we got to do that. So that would be my message to those guys for Saturday is, take care of the football. Obviously have fun, but the big importance there, especially since they're not going to get hit that I know of. I don't think the quarterbacks will be live. Don't take the sack over just kind of getting locked up and then throwing it into coverage.
Yeah, let's not do that. Spencer Rattler's back for year 2. And I think if somebody crosses the line of scrimmage, they might blow it dead if he's in the game on Saturday night, because you can't have it, Perry. I know we got to let you go here in just a couple of minutes. Final couple of quick questions here.
Yeah.
Overall, from the quarterback standpoint, just that room in general, we know there's a ton of talent in there. We also know that more than likely there's going to be a deflection or two. There has to be. Everybody can't play. But as it stands today, going into the spring game, you've been around now this program for, Perry, 12 years or something like that. 12, 13 years.
Old though.
Give me just an overall evaluation, top to bottom, from the talent that's in there, and then on the defensive side of the football. I mean, we talk a lot of offense. But defensively, I know they've got some concerns, but at the same time, we continue to kind of hear they feel pretty good about that side of the ball too.
Yeah, I mean, from the quarterback room, as talented of a room as we've had since I've been following the program. I mean, of just pure natural throwers of the football, just by watching them at the practice that I was able to go to. They all throw tight spirals. Ball comes out hot. They all seem to have great mechanics and good footwork. From then on, it's about who takes care of the football. And, we all know that Rattler's going to lead the charge, and Luke needs to push him every single day and get himself ready to play. And then the other guys, they need to prep mentally, because they are young, that if, a couple sprained ankles, and then they're next up. So they, Tanner and Lenoris will duke it out for the third spot. Not sure what will happen with the other kids, but I know that those 4 right now are leading the pack. And then when it comes to defense, I don't expect to see a big drop off. You return Eamon Worry, you return the kid from Spring Valley, couple good corners. We've got a good back end. Coach White does an amazing job with the defense. We just got to find a way to anchor down on some of those, the run game a little bit. And the Muschamp said it best. Now, whether we did it all that well is a different story, but if you can run the ball when teams know that you're going to run, and you can stop the run when the other team's going to run, you're going to have a chance to win every game you play. And on defense, it really comes down to, who are we going to find on the front that can anchor down and slow up some of that run game. And if we do that, I mean, we're always going to be good in the secondary because of the coaches that we have. And to be honest, and the players that we have and the kids that we're bringing in. So that are yet to be determined. But again, for Saturday night, love to see good, clean football. And anytime you can watch football in Williams-Brice, it's a good day.
Oh, you got that. You got that right. Anybody that wants to or knows somebody that needs to be trained as a quarterback, make sure you get in touch with Perry. And then you want to promote your day job, or do you want to do that, or do you want me to do that for you? Is he frozen?
No.
Oh, I'm back now.
Oh, there you
froze up for a second.
Yeah, sorry. Do you want to promote your day job before we let you run as well?
Yeah, sure. So, we started a company offering self-defense insurance for individuals, whether you carry a firearm or not. You're definitely going to need it in the event something happens. The cost of legal fees now are just astronomical. And starting a business, you find out how expensive legal fees are. And I can assure you, if you own a weapon or you carry a weapon, whether it be on you or in a car, check us out. We call it Right to Bear, and a little play on words there. And so would love for you guys to check us out. Started a year and a half ago, and we're really rocking and rolling, man. It's been a blessing. So it's allowed me to stay in the community and still coach and train and do all the cool things that I love to do, which has been fun. But yeah, it's a really neat little business model, and go ahead and check us out on the web, man. We'd appreciate it.
Well, Carolina fans are lucky to have you around, and I'm very lucky to call you a friend, man. We always appreciate your time. Well, I'll be up this weekend, so I'll hit you up when I get there. Bringing the kids.
Hit me up. I'll be babysitting Garcia, so he gets into town today at 2:30. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't doing anything tonight,
and job than any of them. That's a better job.
Yeah. If you guys aren't doing anything tonight, Garcia's got his brother's roommate in college started a seltzer company called Day Chaser.
Yeah.
And he's been up promoting it. So he's promoting it tonight at Cantina 76 on Divine. So we'll be up there from about 5 o'clock to 7. He'll be there from 4 to 7, just kind of promoting that new brand. So my sister is the assistant manager of that location. So she set that up, and we'll be up there and just having a good time.
Well, I know that you at some point in time will have to probably babysit him, but let's all make sure we say this too. Steven is a really good guy, and he is a great father, and he's a great dad, friend, and all that type of stuff. He just has a good time.
Great quarterbacks coach too. I've watched him coach quarterbacks. Yes, he's really good, really talented at what he does.
So. He is.
Yeah, he's good. Great coach. Great friend. Got a new baby girl, so I think his party days are slowly lessening.
Yo, hey, but real quick before I let you run, dude, I had no idea that Bailey Hart is like working with Russell Wilson now. He's like
he's Russell Wilson's executive personal coach, basically.
Yeah, so I saw a picture of it the other day. Was it? Did you tell me that at the bowl game?
I may have.
You might have told me that at the bowl game.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is all reconnected. As I saw that picture, I was like, wait, what? And then
he's taking private jets with Sierra and Russell Wilson going to the SBs and their private house in Cabo, and I mean it's big time.
I'm sure Big Daddy Bill's loving that, isn't he?
He's loving that.
That's funny. That is, man, that's awesome. Well, when you talk to him, tell him we said hello. But
I'll do it. Appreciate it, guys.
Saturday. I'll hit you up on Saturday. We'll see you Saturday, okay?
Take care.
There you go. Perry Orth, former quarterback at Carolina. And, of course, now he's training QBs as well. And as you just heard him say, Right to Bear, if you need to carry insurance, which you probably should, if you carry a firearm, that would probably be a smart thing in the world we live in today. They are doing pretty well with that. So, all right. Yeah. So Phil, we got to go to break, huh? We just carry this thing right on to forever. So we'll hit that timeout and we'll be right back. Family vacations, a new car, a new boat, all cost money, but you don't necessarily have to make more to afford any of that if you can save cash that's flying out the window now. iHelp Consulting can help you finally get the kids to Disney World, upgrade the minivan, or drop that new boat in the water next summer. Let Daniel and iHelp Consulting consult with you. No fees, just savings. You pay them a percentage of those savings. Save on essential services, credit card fees, you name it. Let them find it. These folks are incredible. iHelpConsulting.com. How can I help you?
Just as your State Farm agent combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home, auto, life, or small business insurance with Tony Pope State Farm Insurance today. And guess what you'll get? That's right, even more good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. In fact, Tony Pope State Farm is your go-to agent anywhere in South Carolina, North Carolina, or Georgia for the service you deserve at the price you want. So try combining your home, life, auto, and or small business insurance today. Tony Pope State Farm has been in business for more than 30 years and can handle anything you need in the tri-state area. Once again, Tony Pope State Farm will help you mix and match perfectly. Call 843-851-2222 or visit tonypope.com today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The real estate market has changed dramatically from just a year ago. Rates, supply, demand, all of your traditional factors are in a transition phase. That's why if you or someone you know are considering making a move in the Lowcountry, contact me, JB, at Coast to Coast Realty. I work with an outstanding support cast of attorneys, lenders, inspectors, insurance agents, and more, all of whom are valuable in helping find a way for you to comfortably make your real estate decision. That's right. Call me, JB, your Lowcountry real estate broadcaster.
Traveling to cheer on the Gamecocks? Reserve your hotel stay with Fan Plans. Your booking supports inside the Gamecocks and the Big Spur, plus you still earn your hotel loyalty points. Visit fanplans.com/inside the Gamecocks.
What's up, Gamecock Nation? This is Jakar Moore from the DMV, and you are listening to the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Gamecocks, the show presented to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber and his team a call at 803-446-4662 to get in touch with them and see how they could potentially turn your backyard into an outdoor retreat. And, of course, the first hour of the show is brought to you by Cindy Searfoss and Coldwell Banker Kane Realty here in the Upstate. Give Cindy a call at 864-414-5271. for all your Upstate residential real estate needs.
Maybe I should cut my mic on. That'd be helpful, huh?
Talking through a muted mic earlier with Perry.
Is that why you were quiet? You muted yourself. This guy threw his own kid in a father-son game.
That's
yeah, certainly appreciate Perry and look forward to seeing him this weekend. If anybody ever sees Perry, he's one of the nicest people out there. So walk up and introduce yourself. He is one of the ones who will definitely talk to you. I can assure you that. I saw something in the Nana Sports chat box, and I want to go back and find it. And this was a little while ago. This is killer radio. Here it is from Linda Dickerson. She said, "Hi guys, 1973 alumni Gamecock here who had a young man named Ronnie Bass, who sat behind her in a math class many moons ago. I have awesome memories going to basketball and football games, especially the awesome Chinese year of the Gamecock. Carolina was awesome in basketball, and we won the ACC with Sunshine as quarterback. I'm looking forward to a great coming season." Well, first of all, thank you very much for saying hello to us. We hope you are absolutely fantastic and your family. I happen to know Ronnie Bass fairly well. I had good friends with his daughter. She married a friend of mine who I grew up with, and he is just a super, super guy, and they're super Gamecocks as well. And believe it or not, his son is also a quarterback, which is pretty neat. So that's pretty cool. So next time I see Mr. Ronnie, we will Linda Dickerson. I wrote that name down during the break, and I will pass that along to him for you. If that means anything to you, I don't know. It might not. But we certainly appreciate you being in with us today. And there's a bunch of crazy birds in this chat box, Linda. So get used to it. But they will welcome you with open arms. There's no doubt about that.
Also, want to give a shout out to James Ryan, who's a frequent listener of our show. I think Ryan is how you pronounce it. Also a member of Carolina Rise, and liked the Heritage Digital Taken commercial, and actually called up our Heritage Digital rep today to inquire about some business. I want to just say thanks for listening, first and foremost, every day. And also thanks for patronizing our sponsors. That makes me feel as good as anything. Is when these guys buy advertising and they go, hey, like Meredith's gotten many clients. We mentioned Cindy Searfoss has sold houses. Heritage Digital's made stuff off of electric bikes. Obviously, many of you have gone in. That is a very key to our show continuing to evolve and to be, the best Gamecock show out there on a daily basis. And I know all of you in the chat box feel that way, but you can always grow more and more and more. And we certainly appreciate people like James who listen every single day and patronize our businesses that are affiliated with us.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We aren't going anywhere. We're only getting bigger and better. You'll hear more soon, but that certainly is a big part of it. So yes, these people are good people. They got good businesses, and hopefully they have products and services that all of you need. I piggyback your comments, JC. What are they?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the picture of the family with the crazy Christmas lights in front of their house, and the guy next door just put a sign in his yard that said "Ditto," pointing to theirs?
Yeah,
that's me.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Yep. I also want to pass all condolences to one of the better posters in the South Carolina internet posters members, whatever, in the South Carolina internet ecosystem for the past 20 years since I've been doing it. Back in the Rivals days, Chief Drink Beer was his handle. I believe Chief had some connections to Burns and Spartanburg. I'd have to look that up. I knew who he definitely was for a while, but sort of lost track with him. Unfortunately, he passed away this past week from cancer. And so just you guys that pray and have good thoughts in your head or whatever you do, if you're in touch with your spirituality, or even if you're not, you just want to send out some good thoughts to the universe, please, Chief Drink Beer and his family. I know it sounds weird to say, but I wish I could look up his real name, but it's not in the system. So RIP Chief Drink Beer, one of the best posters ever. And boy, he didn't like Tennessee at all. He said, I'll always call them UT Junior. So
yeah,
was a guy in there. So
well, that's
good
a great
poster on Big Spur.
That's a good Chief Drink Beer I like that. Well done, and certainly condolences to his family. It's it's always tough to see. Craig asked a question earlier about this hat. JC, tell him where you can get it, the one that I'm wearing.
You can order it. I think I have Big Spur hats on InsideTheGamecocks.com. You can also order Dowell Loggins shirts. I'm going to put the average jambalaya shirt up there just in case anybody wants one. Find a Damn Way, the show shirts, Big Spur, Carolina Rise. A portion of those sales do go to Carolina Rise. Not all of them. It's not like buying off the Carolina Rise store, but we only have Carolina Rise stuff on the Carolina Rise store. But I just want to let people know, if you buy from there, you help the show. You have Carolina Rise, you help whatever. But yeah, I'll definitely be willing to get you one, and I'll check on that during our break to see if I do have a Big Spur hat up there. I'm pretty sure I do. If not, I'll get it up this afternoon, Craig. We'll pass that link along to you, this afternoon. But yeah,
black trucker hat available from what I can see.
It says Big Spur.
I don't know which one that is. Is that the one?
It's this one. Yeah. That's
it. And those are not. I'll have to order those. And so whatever the one Jamie has, I know, because Jamie's got the one that Whittle has and Hale has and Alec, all my staff. So I will just, if you order it, Craiger, I'll send you one.
There you go. And order the Carolina Rise hats too, because those are pretty cool. JC said, I had this box show up last week, and I forgot you had texted me and said, what size shirt do you wear and all that type of stuff. I didn't even remember it. I had this box show up, and I thought, well, what is this? And I
what's in the box?
What's
in the box?
Of course, my kids see a box, and they're like, hey, Dad's opening a box.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, everybody get in here. Dad's opening a box. And I'm like, all right, yeah. And so the kids were wearing that, Anyways, so certainly appreciate it, JC. And yes, y'all order as much as you can, and make sure that you wear it to the Carolina Rise events that are coming up April 27th and April the 29th. The 27th in Columbia at home team, the 29th. That's a Saturday at home team in Mount Pleasant. That'd be a great day for if you're in the Low Country, because Carolina baseball's on at 4. So you'll be able to kind of hang around and watch that, or go do whatever you want to do. But 12 players in total are coming. It's on thebigspur.com. There's going to be prizes, and you get to take pictures with all these guys. You want to see we just spent 30 minutes on the Carry-On Joint. Everybody talks about how big he is. You want to see for yourself? Shake his hand. Make sure you get a ticket. And my kind of daily reminder, JC, for Carolina Rise here, the money goes to the players. Like, this isn't something that, all of a sudden we're going to have like new microphones. Everybody's going to be like, oh, they got that. No. It's going to the players.
We have, and the show kind of, the one thing with Carolina Rise, I wanted to keep it separate from Big Spur because I didn't want people to think, the dude's just using NIL money to get a pub plug for his website or whatever. I think our content on the website stands on its own, and it's just fine. We do, just because we have so many players and we don't have but a handful of businesses they're involved with Carolina Rise, we have to find something for them to do. So we do have them do things like rejoins and stuff like that. And we had Roman Kimball on, but he does a lot more stuff for the collective and all that. So we just try to keep it separate, but the show does have some synergies. But no, I'm not. This is, everything I do with Carolina Rise, the money gets put back in because, it's for the University of South Carolina. And the University of South Carolina can't afford it, So that's the deal there. In case you guys are kind of wondering how all this works, so it's kind of Big Spurs on one end, Carolina Rise is way on the other, and then the show does have some synergies between the two, but they're all three owned by separate companies. They're three different LLCs. So, in case you guys were wondering, Krager, just order the black one, and I'll get you a white one made. If you do that, it's not a big deal. I'll get it made.
There you go.
So anyway,
look at that.
So just
do
that.
That is what customer service you're going to go anywhere in the world that says, we'll custom make it for you, Craig. Just order the damn thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is
I get a little discount from either my lady up the road in Lamont, Lena from Lithuania, that does all my local stuff, and then I've got some deals with some national people that do it.
Yeah.
Except for Lids on Demand, which I'm probably never using them again because they were really slow. I know we got to get to a break. Just want to tell you one thing. Terry, Burns guy in the chat box, Tony Maccabee and Keith Alsep do sound a lot alike. And I haven't talked to Tony obviously as much as Keith, but I do know Tony. Talked to him a lot in 2016 when I was doing sideline reporting for Burns. And there you go. James wants you to take the hat off and show it.
Sure.
Maybe we'll do that when we get a break. Yeah, you want to see it? Here you go. Real pretty.
Nice. Oh, look. Carhartt. Mm-hmm.
It's a Carhartt, yeah. Hey, by the way, that's like Tommy Hilfiger in the 1990s in Chicago. Carhartt is.
Yeah. I'm a Carhartt guy, so there you go. Snap back.
I love it too.
Yeah, it'll fit your head. You'll be all right, Craig. You'll be all right. All right, let's hit a time. And by the way, Craig, just so you know, if it does come in black, just spray paint it. It'll be fine. You can make it white really quick. All right, so we'll hit a timeout, and we'll be back to wrap up hour one.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for a karaoke partner, I can tell you, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. But what I do have is a very specific set of skills. Hang up now, and your IT nightmares will continue. But stay on the line, and I will find you. And when I find you, I will fix it. Thanks. I think I have the wrong number. I'm trying to call Matt at Heritage Digital. He has a one price, low cost turnkey solution for all my IT needs. And I'm sick and tired of my IT guy. So yeah, 843-699-1001. This is 1002. Oh, well, thanks anyway. Don't be taken by some IT dude that talks a big game. Give Matt at Heritage Digital a call, 843-699-1001.
Gamecock Nation, JB here, and I'm here to tell you about my new favorite painting company, A Couple of Painters. These guys are the best. Gamecock fans and excellent painters, and by far the best and easiest quote I've received. They're licensed in both South Carolina and Georgia. They offer 10% off for military, repeat customers, or if you heard it on the show, commercial and residential painting, deck, fence, and cabin staining, cabinet and furniture refinishing. They'll even remove popcorn ceilings and wallpaper, and they offer pressure washing. Find them on Facebook or call 800 603-522-6832. A couple of painters, proud partners of Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Golfers and wannabe golfers, former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor is now a full-time golf instructor in the Midlands of South Carolina. In-person golf lessons are held at the Country Club of Lexington. Half-hour, hour, on course 9 or 18 holes. And if you're outside of South Carolina, Meredith conducts virtual lessons. Just send in your golf swing for analysis. Gift cards are available for in-person 1-hour lessons. Connect on Twitter @Mayor Taylor and find her online at McKellarEnterprises.org. Her email is on the website. Schedule your next lesson today with Meredith Taylor, former Gamecock golfer.
You're tuned into Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
Sideline is picked off. Brad Edwards will get a convoy. Touchdown, South Carolina.
You ain't just a bird. You're top of the coop, star of the show. You're a rooster who was born to crow. Well, I bet you wonder when you win or lost a step or two. Fell down the pecking order, couldn't fight.
Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, presented to you by Express Sunrooms of Columbia. 803-446-4662 is how to get in touch with them to talk about how they can bring some more sunshine into your life. And, of course, the first hour is brought to you by Cindy Searfoss and the Coldwell Banker Kane Realty team here in the Upstate. Give Cindy a call for all your Upstate residential real estate needs at 864-414-5271. Also, y'all, I've included a lot of links in the chats today. So we've got the link to the Carolina Rise event. Get those tickets while they last. Put Perry's Right to Bear website in there as well. And the hat, which will get you, if you click the hat link, it'll take you into all the Big Spur and show stuff. So.
And James, Garnet, I'd stay away from it because I have Garnet stickers that Ted Hyman, who knows, who's not colorblind like me, for Carolina Rise. That's such a touchy subject, right? Like, because nobody ever gets even Under Armour and whoever else, Russell Athletic through the years, they don't always get the Garnet right. So I try to kind of stay away from it. If you've got like a color code, though, I can special order you a Garnet one. But just know that it's going to be at the mercy of them. Like I said, I can kind of tell when the Garnet's right, but I am colorblind, so it's weird and all that good stuff. So and Nat's in the chat box. Yeah, Nat will be working the events. So you get to meet my lovely fiance and my brother's lovely wife, Ashley, and some other special guests. So yeah, you'll get to meet them.
She doesn't look like she's very happy about being conscripted labor.
You'll get yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
she gets paid in a lot of ways. Trust me,
it'll all work out.
Not all compensation is monetary.
Just hang in there. Hang in there.
Baseball win over USC Upstate last night, 7-2. They beat the alma mater again, the Spartans. I thought it was a pretty solid win, to be honest.
Yeah. We'll certainly get more into that in hour two when we got a little bit more time. Another big night for Ethan Petrie. Michael Haney is coming up here in just a few minutes as well. This will be a blast of a conversation. If any of you have never seen or heard Michael Haney, he must not have been around that long for some off-the-wall reason, because he used to be one of the great voices of sports in the Columbia area, and now he is making his way in Nashville, Tennessee. We're very proud of him and certainly excited to see him on Saturday. He's coming up next. Before we get there, though, bonjour, everybody. South Carolina and Notre Dame will make history in Paris, as in like France company. If you haven't heard, the Gamecocks and the Irish on November the 6th, 2023, will play basketball in Paris, France. It will be the first time an NCAA regular season basketball game has been played on Parisian soil.
That's the women. That's the women, by the way. Yeah, the women.
Yeah, Dawn Staley coaches the women's team. Yes.
Right.
She said, "We did not hesitate to accept the invitation. Playing Notre Dame in Paris is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for our student athletes. And I'm thankful for the support of our administration and of our donors. Much more to come on that, including television and all that type stuff, but they will kick off the basketball season for everybody November 6th in Paris.
I remember wasn't Paris where the Dream Team played, or was that the Bulls that went to Paris? It was in the Michael Jordan documentary that we all watched during the pandemic because there was nothing else on.
Good
so I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Joe Guy says nobody believes the men would go to Paris. So, Perry also wanted me to mention the alumni football game, a big Gamecock weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Guys, go check that out.
Is it 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock? I think it's 3.
I don't have the schedule in front of me.
I'll look at it. I'm pretty sure it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, but, Joe, I know the Olympics were in Barcelona that year. I didn't know if but they went to Paris at some point. And I think maybe for a tune-up or something. I don't know.
Play some of the national teams beforehand.
I just remember seeing they were in Paris and they were talking about Rodman being. I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure that out too.
Rodman.
Yeah, he's cool. You said Rod.
Yeah,
Rodman. Yeah, score. Davis, you're getting a little silly.
That show.
Yeah, silly.
I need to bring that show back, actually. All right, we got to hit a break because hour 1 is in the books, but Michael Haney is waiting in the wings to lead off hour 2. We're excited about that. Hang tight. Inside the Gamecocks from the Signarama Studios. We'll be right back.
What's up, Gamecock fans? This is Pitcher Noah Hall. If you want some delicious food for your event, I suggest visiting nanasporch.com today to find out what they all have to offer. It's really good Southern cuisine based out of Charlotte, my hometown. I hope you guys go check it out. Go Cox and go Nanas.
Are you looking to buy a new home? Kevin O'Connell with Union Home Mortgage is a local mortgage expert and Gamecocks fan servicing North and South Carolina. Whether you're buying a home, building your dream home with new construction, or turning your equity into cash, UHM's world-class service will ensure you find the perfect mortgage to achieve your home ownership goals. Call Kevin at 803-906-0244 or visit UHM.com today. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS 2229, LONMLS 1772182.
Electric Bikes of Charleston offers the most fun you'll ever have on 2 wheels. The home of Oventon, Velotric, Magnum Bikes, and more, they sell to consumers all across the state and offer outstanding warranties and service after the sale. Their electric bikes are equipped with 5 levels of pedal assist plus a throttle, so you can ride longer, handle the heat better, but still get great exercise. Bikes are available for all ages and sizes. Visit electricbikescharleston.com or stop into their store in Mount Pleasant if you're in the Low Country. Electric Bikes of Charleston, powering inside the Gamecocks, the show.
Welcome to TravelingCountryClub.com, your modern golf club experience. Hey folks, this is Michael Manus, former Gamecock golfer, inviting you to play more golf with a membership to TravelingCountryClub.com. With over 40 courses across the Carolinas, our membership provides you with an affordable way to enjoy a club-like golf experience. From the mountains to the coast, we offer golf courses that will challenge all types of golfers, no matter your handicap level or level of play. Plus, we offer unique membership benefits not seen anywhere else as part of Traveling Country Club. In July, we're excited to bring to you the 3rd annual Plunder on Pawleys 2-day golf tournament, with rounds played at Caledonia and True Blue golf courses in the heart of Pawleys Island. Head to TravelingCountryClub.com to register for that event, and it is not exclusive to TCC members, but to become one, you can sign up and bring to life your golf game. Tee it up with Traveling Country Club, TravelingCountryClub.com, TravelingCountryClub.com, proud partners of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
This is Zachary Davis from Carolina Hoops, and you're watching the show with JB, JC, and Phil. Go Cox.
Welcome back, everybody, to Hour 2 of Inside the Gamecocks, the show, presented to you by Express Sunrooms of Columbia. John B. at expresssunrooms.com is the way you can get in touch with them to talk about potentially enclosing a porch or a patio for you to enjoy the summer bug-free.
Yeah.
And Haney's not in yet, so
you could he could insulate a sunroom with brick and mortar and plastic and spray foam and everything else, damn no-see-em will still find its way in. Those stupid little bugs. There's no purpose for them. Like I feel like, God created the world with everything with a purpose, but they weren't thinking well up there when they created the damn no-see-ems. Like, they don't serve a purpose. None. They're not enough to feed anything. I will say this, dude. Yesterday, I've been getting out on these just like mind release walks in our neighborhood. We've just got a lot going on. So I need 30, 45 minutes from time to time I got to get out and just move around and listen to their church. I'm coming back towards the house, and our neighbor a couple of streets over has one of those cats that looks like a leopard. You know what I'm talking about? Crazy looking ones. And he roams all over the place. Everybody knows him. He's not going to hurt you or anything. This cat, literally, like no pun intended, but is literally walking across the road with a live snake in his mouth. And the live snake has a live frog in his mouth. I was like, dude, that is badass. This cat is my hero. He just picked the thing up. He was like, hey, I'm going to eat. I know you're hungry, but so am I. So you're both coming with me.
Gotta love it. We walked around the neighborhood yesterday and saw 3 dead snakes in the road.
See, there's no snake. There's no poisonous snakes up here. There's snakes, but you hardly ever see them. And you wouldn't think that about the Midwest, but there's not a lot of like critters like that. Which I'm not a snake person, man. I said that the other day. I just don't. I'm not a big snake guy. So.
Oh no!
One of the cats had an anole cornered on the back porch the other day too. So. Had to do my lizard extraction.
Well, we took the screen door off of our screen porch because the kids were, one of them was going to lose a finger at some point. So I said, forget this, pulled it off and got one of those screen, like an actual screen that you Velcro around it. And you can just walk through it. And it's good for the dogs. I've got a 16-year-old dog, so it's great for him. You just go in and out. Well, every so often a bird gets in. So we've been having issues with the birds. Well, our garage door is also always open. And the other day, pigeons were in there. And then I couldn't get the pigeons out. And there was 2 of them. So, I don't know if it's like pigeon mating season. So I flushed them out, came back, started keeping the garage door shut, gave it a few days, opened it back up. Damn pigeons came back in. And one of them was too stupid to get his way out. So I had to get one of my nets that when I'm out there hooking largemouth, I had to catch him in a damn net. And I was like, you might break your wing if you keep flapping, but he got out of there. So we've been invaded by pigeons. Now we got a cat eating snakes down the street. I mean, you gotta get out of here.
I tell you what is bad up here is mosquitoes. They are, because it's relatively humid in the Midwest during the summer months, whenever you have summer months. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do we have Haney or no?
Yeah, he just popped in. So let's bring him in.
Good.
Look at that.
12:07 on this beautiful, absolutely beautiful Wednesday afternoon, at least where we are in the Palmetto State, called South Carolina. Coming up on Saturday, it's the annual Garnet and Black Spring Game. And prior to that, you'll be entertained in Gamecock Park by this gentleman who used to entertain the way we do it with a microphone. But now he gets to do it with his voice and guitar and pen and the whole 9 yards. Michael Haney joins us now, and he'll be there. Patrick Davis and all those guys will be there as well. But I'm really more excited to get my first glimpse of Born to Crow live on stage. Mike, what's up, brother?
Yeah,
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be aboard, man. I've been watching from afar for a little while, so glad to be a guest.
Yeah, it's great.
What
Of course,
hat you got on there. I like that hat.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
I like it.
Now, who gave you that? Let me guess. I've been asking Beamer and Kingston and these guys for years for hats, and nobody will ever get one. So where'd you get it? Who gave it to you?
I found it myself. I wish I could come up with a cool story. I think I found it in the store somewhere. It was like one of 2 or 3 that were left, and I'm like, that's my hat.
Son of a bitch. That's my hat.
Yeah, let's get after it, guys. Yeah. I hope YouTube doesn't flag that. But anyway,
okay. It won't be any worse than when you discover that your name was spelled wrong on your hockey jersey.
Oh, that was awful.
You
That
definitely
was
can't
a
say that.
disaster. Hey, I wore that out of the bar the other day because I don't care.
Yeah.
Everybody here is like a Polish last name anyway. Nobody spells it right. Nobody cares anyway. Nobody knows me unless they. And I was gonna shameless plug. Haney is on the air sometimes.
Yeah,
when he joins me and Mike for the JC and Morgan podcast, and we certainly love it when he's on when he has a chance. But Michael, your thoughts about how Born to Crow? I think it's been a few months since you released it. It's a catchy tune. I find myself singing it sometimes, which I think is a good sign.
Always.
Talk to us about kind of the evolution of that. We had Patrick on a few weeks back, and he kind of mentioned it. But it's your song, so kind of take us through the evolution of Born to Crow and all that good stuff.
All right, well, let's get back in the Wayback Machine all the way to October of 2020. I was in North Captiva Island on vacation with family, COVID year, and just trying to find a place where we could kind of go and get away. But I got a phone call while I was there from Langston Moore, who is one of the authors along with Preston Thorne of the Just a Chicken children's book series. So he just called me that day and flat out said, we're writing a third book and want to know if you would be interested in writing a song to help us promote it. And, from October 2020 until sitting on Patrick's back porch here in Nashville in July of 21, and putting that song together in a few hours one night, smoking some cigars and sipping on some whiskey, to just the entire process of recording it finally in 22. I mean, the life of a song and where it goes, it's not as cut and dry sometimes as just putting it together, making a demo, and then immediately rolling it out. So yeah, it took pretty much all of last year and lots of other red tape things that I won't bore everyone with, but a lot of different things that have to go on behind the scenes before you put something up on a streaming platform. And eventually we got it out. So that's it, man. It took about 2 years for everybody to, from being asked to it actually coming out for everyone to actually hear the finished product. But, I've been doing some shows over the last couple of years, and I've been playing it live, in places where, it's appropriate, and sometimes where, maybe it's not appropriate. I was in Augusta this past week with a bunch of Georgia fans, and I enjoyed the hell out of playing that song. What they hate to admit is that, like you said, JC, it is catchy, and it's fun to have something like that. My good buddy Gabe Lee is a fantastic singer-songwriter, and if you don't know Gabe Lee, I highly suggest you looking him up. But he gave me what I felt was one of the best compliments for something like that I know for us as Gamecock fans, and it's sort of a niche song for what we're trying to do. But he came up to me not long after we had put it out in December and said, what I love about that song is even though I know that its origins are in a football team and a college mascot deal, if you really listen to it, it's accessible. Like it could be for anything. And so that's what I love about the song and the way that Patrick and I wrote it and put it together. It doesn't have to be about the Gamecocks, even though that's where it started. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have it out, man. It really is. And I'm glad that you guys are giving it a life here on the show.
Yeah, we play it every day. Now let's get to like the real stuff here, though. Is PD jealous that this is going to be the new anthem of Gamecock sports? Because I tried to get him to say it on the air, and then at his show, I was like, "Look, man, Born to Crow is the next big old cock is that's it's old.
That's like yesterday's news.
Yeah, it's not a big deal anymore." And of course, he's I'm so
it's
proud
just
of Michael.
It's just an old cock. It's not a big old cock.
That's right. So, like,
wow.
I mean, like, y'all did this together, but you think he's regretting it? Like, damn, Haney's gonna upstage me, and I'm gonna be opening for him, and right?
We'll see. Hey, he's got a hand in it, so he shouldn't be too jealous, right?
Like, at some point in time, it's gonna be like
all ships rise, brother.
Yeah, like Patrick Davis and his like midday choir. Like he can't do the midnight. He can't do the night anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
and then, pharmaceutically supplemented.
So then the other side of it is at the end, you got Sterling and Steven and all these guys. Have you had anybody who's like, dude, you didn't say my name at the end of that at the end of the song? I'm gonna kick your ass over this deal.
Yeah, there've been a few, and I'll leave their names out for now because I try to make up for it if they come to any of the performances that I do. I'll make sure that if I know they're in the crowd, I'll say their name.
Oh, I bet I know who one of them is. I bet JC knows who one of them is too. Large human. Yeah. So let's see. I'm trying to think because you're going to be in front of. You better extend this thing Saturday because you're going to be in front of the entire alumni.
Yeah, pretty much right before the Gamecock walk too. Yeah, right where we are.
The Letterman's Association.
Yeah.
I talked to a couple guys this morning who are in charge of that. So they got the Letterman's meeting. So you better get a list of who all's going to be there.
Scroll. Just bring out the scroll on the stage. Yeah. Go ahead and go down the list.
Yeah, like John Smith. Who the hell is John? John Smith was born to. Yeah, I mean, you get the walk-on kicker from 1983. You better make sure he's in there.
Oh yeah, we can do that. All love, man. If you bled and sweat for the Gamecocks, I'll try to put you in there.
Okay, all right. Well, that's don't forget Michael Flynn either. All right, so I told you, and I say this all the time, but I'm serious when my kids love it. They love this song, and it does take on a whole new life because there is more meaning behind it. Like, hey, man, you're born to be something great. Go do it. But has this song, like, I remember when Patrick wrote Big Old Cock, and he says this often, right? That song was meant to be this was not meant to be a joke, but that song was meant to be a joke. But what it actually did was open a bunch of doors he didn't even know could open. Has this song done that for you?
I think so, and mainly because, I don't, and I haven't in a lot of ways put myself out there since I've moved to Nashville. I mean, I've done a lot of things behind the scenes, and I know that JC, you and Jamie, of course, have known, and Phil. It's nice to meet you. I haven't met you in person yet, but hi, it's good to see you. But you guys have known that I played and have done things for a while, but you've never really heard me or listened, and that's kind of the thing that happened with that. Is, of course, my first proper release and song would be about the Gamecocks. I think that's kind of what it was meant to be for me, and sort of the timing that happens with all of that it would be something that I'm familiar with and know. Again, write what you know. And yeah, I think that there's no doubt that is a vehicle that I've been able to ride here for the last few months. And turn that into being able to get in the studio and record an EP that I've got coming out, in just a few months as well. And yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt. I think once people understand that you're capable of doing certain things, it's like, well, why not just have him do it? This is great. Hey, do you want to come along with us? And just being in Nashville, being in Nashville. That's sort of the rule of thumb. If you want to be in this world, is you got to be around. You have to be present. You have to be seen. You have to show up. And I think putting something out and being here, absolutely, there's no question that it's opened up a new life and plenty of doors that I could walk through here this coming year.
Who I know we've talked about some of this before, but for those that maybe wonder what the Nashville life is like when you're in it, right? Because you moved up there as an outsider and you probably consider yourself more of an insider now. So who are some that you, I don't know what the word is, collaborate with, work with, who has maybe influenced you, who has kind of helped bring you along? Are there names that are in relationships you've developed since you've been in Nashville, Michael, that maybe you look back on and you're like, oh my God, I just wrote a song with so-and-so, or I just did this with this guy? Any of that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, there's probably a lot of people that I could mention over the last, going on 8 years. I can't believe it's been that long since I left radio and got up here. It's kind of crazy to think about, but I mean, obviously, I have to start with Patrick because through that and through our relationship, which, we met in this format, he came on 107.5 The Game years ago. And I think, what's today's date? Where are we? April. Yeah. April 12th. I think it was almost 13 years ago to the day that he walked into 107.5 The Game Studios And it was the floods that had happened in Nashville in 2010. And he was doing a benefit show in Columbia, a place called the White Mule, its first location that was on Main Street in downtown Columbia. And so he came in the studio and he reworked a version of Big Old Cock that had my name and Jay Phillips and Deuce Staley's name when we were all doing our show together. And so, he sort of helped track and influence the move up here. And through that and through him and his ties here, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of amazing songwriters, and the advice from them, guys like Channing Wilson, who just released his debut album and is a phenomenal singer songwriter. And again, another name that if you love music and especially love good old fashioned old style country music, Channing Wilson is your man.
Yeah.
But you guys like that, and Levi Lowry, and even more recently, the aforementioned Gabe Lee and Chris Canterbury, my buddy Nate Frederick. There's a lot of folks like that I've been able to work with and get to know. And I hate to say it this way, but the COVID lockdown and stuff in a place like Nashville, where a lot of people, this is such a transient city in town. Everybody had to kind of hang around, and you kind of get to a point where some folks were, destined to be out on the road and move on and do things, and then that forced a lot of folks. It set them a little further back, and for somebody like myself that was trying to build up and get to the next step in my evolution and my time here, I was able to meet some folks that I probably wouldn't have met if not for that reset that went on. And I think that that's been a huge boost. And I think it helped to kind of reevaluate where maybe some folks weren't as willing to help. Sometimes you can be selfish. Sometimes it's not turn around and help the next guy. It's like, you're all about yourself. But I think that helped maybe change a few minds and hearts. And so somebody like me is hanging around and you see what potential is and what can happen. And it's been fun. It's been fun to know and meet a lot of those folks that are willing to help see the next phase.
So, Michael Haney, got a question from the Nana Sports chat box. Do you write lyrics or melody first, or does it just kind of depend?
The chicken or the egg. The chicken or the egg. It's it depends. Predominantly, I think you'll start with a lyric idea or have a line or something like that, and then try to go with the melody. But a lot of times you can strum through. I think predominantly it comes from a melody or a chord structure and how that makes you feel, and then you can go back to the words and things that you've written down. You can go find your pieces of music and lines somewhere in an iPhone note or in a moleskin that I've scribbled in, and try to piece those things together. So I'd say predominantly melody first, but it's not as one-sided as you may think.
Michael also not you, Michael, a different Michael in the chat, Nana Sports chat box asked if you've worked with some guy named Darius Rucker. Darius Rucker.
Rucker.
Worked with? No, not quite. But I do have the pleasure of saying, because I tour and work with Sister Hazel. That's part of my other life, and we did their big benefit concert every single year is Lyrics for Life, and they do that down in Gainesville on the University of Florida campus at the Phillips Performing Arts Center. And this year Darius was their special guest, but they were the house band playing for Darius Rucker, and they had to practice their songs. And Ken Block, who was the lead singer there, said, hey, we got a full day of rehearsal here, plus I have to do a show tomorrow. I don't want to waste my voice. Do you mind singing these songs for rehearsal? So I did get to be Darius Rucker for an entire with Sister Hazel backing me on a handful of Darius tunes that they needed to learn for the show. So I haven't worked with him, but yeah, I got to do that.
Are those guys? Are they coming back and doing the Hazelnut thing at the Windjammer this year?
They are. They just announced last week, and it's already sold out. So
dude, every year.
It was quick. It was very, very quick. I think it lasted all of a day, maybe 2 days. But yeah, they'll be down there again, and just hang around. I'm sure you can get in somehow.
I know I can get in. Not to sound like Billy Badass here, but but it does sell out, and it is it's a great event. If anybody's got tickets and they've never been, they're going to love it. 76 Gamecock says, met Michael years ago in Garnet and Black Traditions. Walked in on a day where Alshon and Melvin Ingram were doing a signing event. Decently nice guy. Okay, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. He said you're a nice guy. So,
well, thanks, 76 Gamecock.
I certainly appreciate that.
I do remember that day, actually. I sadly, without I don't know the full name of who this is, but I actually do remember that day with Alshon and Melvin in store that day. I do. It's funny how you can recall things like that.
You ever miss sports radio?
Sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are those days where, it never relieves you. It's like riding a bike. So when it's a big day and it's a big news day, I mean, I have a broadcast journalism degree. I know when that juice is flowing and it's good, man. A day that you could sit on a microphone for 15 straight hours and just keep talking because the fire is going. But yeah, some days, absolutely, I do.
What days would you not miss it? Maybe like the Monday after Carolina loses in football.
God!
You know what? I actually do kind of miss those days because that's the days that I hated the most. I say hated. That's a strong word. That were the most challenging. Those days in July between the end of baseball season and the start of SEC media days. Those were the days. I'm like, can I just go on vacation now? Y'all don't need me here, right? you don't need to fill 4 to 6 hours. Can I just? Yeah,
Columbia. I've done. I lived that for 2 years when I was on the show with Corey Miller at 1400 at Columbia, and there's nothing worse.
Yeah,
I think for a week straight, I was so hot and miserable, and because it was 3 hours, right? You got to fill a bunch of time. I went home. I went by the Chick-fil-A on Two Notch Road, got some Chick-fil-A, went home and took a nap every single day for like 8 days. And I felt my arteries getting, hardened. And so I was like, I better not do this anymore. But it's that depressing. I think
your heart was hardening, not because of the Chick-fil-A, but because of having to do radio at a time where there was little to talk about. And that's what it was.
That's pre-transfer portal and free transfers and all that.
Yeah, well, back then
nothing to talk about.
Yeah, Phil, you didn't have any summer recruiting either back then.
Yeah, nothing.
That was
it. It was just please get to Omaha.
Spurrier and his coaches were gone all summer. Like, shoot, we're going to the beach all summer. We're not doing. We're not 2 weeks of camp and that's it. Shoot.
Well, Michael.
Michael. So we'll be in Crescent Beach if you need me.
Shoot.
See you guys.
Shoot. Give me
got Lou Holtz now. It was during the Spurrier era.
And I remember, gosh, you doing that Spurrier impression reminded me of. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, but it was a former player had a wedding, and Spurrier was at the wedding, and he talked about the moment that Spurrier walked over. In the reception afterwards, and he was probably having his favorite, Coors banquet with him. But he just said, he mentioned his name. He's like, you ever think about base jumping? That'd be pretty weird, wouldn't it? and he just walked off.
Pretty weird, wouldn't it?
That's probably one of them.
All right, so I'll tell you,
weird, odd Spurrier story. Just at a wedding reception, just dropping. You ever think about base jumping? Yeah,
I'll tell you guys what. It's kind of self-depreciating, but there was a time I was a pretty big boy, out of shape, and I am now again, unfortunately. But between my late 20s and early 30s, I lost 100 pounds. Whatever. That's beside the point. So I'm a little fat, right? And I'm down with Scott Hood, who worked for Gamecock Central for years, who's also a bigger guy, big-bellied guy, barrel-chested belly, Scott Hood, And we're hanging out, out there. It's Destin, Florida. And we're looking at the beach. He was like, JC, let's go look at the beach. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's cool, Scott. And we walked outside. Here comes Steve Spurrier with his shirt off. And he looks at us, he's like, what's up, boys? How y'all doing? Y'all about to go work out? And then he just walks onto the beach.
Well, Miss Anthony,
what y'all doing? Y'all about to go work out?
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
totally shamed me. I think I started getting my act together shortly after that, and I wasn't offended because I was like, that's pretty cool to get kind of shamed by Steve Spurrier. You're like, you kind of feel like, it's not like your granddad or something shaming you. Like, awesome. So my granddad used to tell me, we'll lose weight, eat less, and exercise more. Like, that works, right? That was funny.
Mike, I tell you what, how much do you have some extra time, Michael? We got to hit a break. Can we hit a quick break and just bring you? Is that okay with you, Dr. Phil?
That sounds good to me. If Michael can hang, we can hang. Yeah,
bring back the great Michael Haney, because I remembered something the other day or yesterday. Whenever I texted you yesterday, or the day before, about coming on, and I always try to think back, especially with guys I've known for a while. Something to bring up, and I remembered this one time when you were on the air. And this became the story in Columbia. So when we return, I want to rehash this with you and see what you remember of this day and what turned in really to the week. So everybody hang tight. The great Michael Haney, Mr. Born to Crow is what we'll call him. He's going to hang with us. We'll be right back.
Just as your State Farm agent combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home, auto, life, or small business insurance with Tony Pope State Farm Insurance today. And guess what you'll get? That's right, even more good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. In fact, Tony Pope State Farm is your go-to agent anywhere in South Carolina, North Carolina, or Georgia for the service you deserve at the price you want. So try combining your home, life, auto, and or small business insurance today. Tony Pope State Farm has been in business for more than 30 years and can handle anything you need in the tri-state area. Once again, Tony Pope State Farm will help you mix and match perfectly. Call 843-851-2222 or visit TonyPope.com today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If you're in the upstate of South Carolina and are in need of residential real estate services, Cindy Bass Searfoss of Caldwell Banker Kane is for you. Ask her about the Village at Creekside, all of her listings. In my hometown of Spartanburg, South Carolina, right there on Daniel Morgan Avenue, married to a lifelong Gamecock fan, and many of our listeners have already bought homes from her and been 100% satisfied with the detail and care she uses. Cindy Searfoss, 864-414-5271, Caldwell Banker Kane in the upstate for your real estate needs.
Are you looking to buy a new home? Kevin O'Connell with Union Home Mortgage is a local mortgage expert and Gamecocks fan servicing North and South Carolina. Whether you're buying a home, building your dream home with new construction, or turning your equity into cash, UHM's world-class service will ensure you find the perfect mortgage to achieve your home ownership goals. Call Kevin at 803-906-0244 or visit UHM.com today. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS 2229, LONMLS 1772182.
Hey man, are you sick and tired of your business computer guy?
Yes, he takes forever to call me back and doesn't always respond to the requests.
Yeah, same here. I'm paying him good money. I constantly have issues, and I'm worried he's not backing up my network and securing it properly. You know what, Phil? Let's ask Stone Blanton.
Hey, JC and Phil, if you want a solution to your IT problems, give Heritage Digital a call. Our boy Matt Odom has a low-cost, one-price solution that will get you running right. Call 843-699-1001 or heritagedigital.com and ask for Matt. He will hook you up today and tell them Stone sent you.
This is freshman All-American Nicky Memorial of the Carolina Gamecocks, and you're listening to The Show with JC and Phil.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. Presented to you by Express Sunrooms of Columbia. 803-446-4662 is how to get in touch with John Barber and his team to talk about how they can bring some more sunshine into your life. And graciously enough, joining us still on the McKellar Enterprises guest line is Michael Haney. Big time songwriter now, former, sports radio guy. Michael, I got a question before JB jumps in. How collaborative is the culture up in Nashville when it comes to writing? Like, I know you and PD put together this one, and is there a certain point where you got to start giving credit, or is that just between two people?
So you broke up just a little bit there. So I got the how collaborative, and then you kind of froze on me just a little bit. So
yeah, no worries. It's probably because of running this off of tin cans and string in here. No, how collaborative is the culture in Nashville? When it comes to music writing, and is there a certain point when that collaboration you got to start throwing credit to somebody?
Oh, well, you're always looking for people that can, give you, another set of ears and eyes and, words and things like that. So it's very collaborative in Nashville. I think that's why a lot of people want to move here because of that culture, and just having talent, around every corner that's here, so very, very collaborative and you put a song out, obviously, when it comes to writers rounds, you usually will say, hey, I wrote this with so-and-so and so-and-so, and this is the song. And so the credit that you give, always, for the most part, you're trying to let folks know who it is that wrote with you and how you put it together. And especially in this day and age with streaming, they've finally gotten to a point. There's the Music Modernization Act, where if you go into Spotify or Apple Music and you look at the song credits, you can see who the songwriters are, which I think is a fantastic touch, because without buying CDs, we buy vinyl now, which is come back around and is really selling a lot. I think for the most since the late 80s, but the liner notes and the credits and all of that stuff has been a lost art for nearly a generation of people. And so being able to get back to that point where people can see who are writing the songs and who are part of the songs, I think is a big deal. And obviously when you're out playing songs and doing your thing, you try to do the best that you can to let folks know if somebody helped you along and helped you write that song, you tell them about it and put other names out there. Again, Patrick mentions this. I said it earlier, all ships rise. So if you have an opportunity to lift somebody up, you do it.
Yeah, no question. And a reminder to everybody that Michael will be performing before the spring game, 3:30ish.
I think I will be. Yeah, I think it starts around 3:30. I'll probably a little after 4, and I think we're narrowing in at about 20-ish, 30-ish minutes.
Okay.
There's a handful of us. Blake Weinbach, who's a great young songwriter, student at Carolina, will be playing. I'll be playing. Lauren Jenkins, who is an amazing singer songstress, and then Jesse Isley, who I met actually for the first time at Delaney's Pub in 5 Points, way back then, probably about 11 years ago. And he got up to, I went to see a friend of mine doing an open mic there. And then Jesse gets up and, you wouldn't think it to look at him, but suddenly he just had this big booming bluesy voice and he shredded on an electric guitar. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And, we followed along each other. And within 6 months, he had moved to Nashville. And he's one of the most in-demand session guys and a hired gun road guitar player. So I think he's part of the Midnight Choir for Patrick Davis now as well. And Jesse's awesome. So glad to be a part of that lineup with those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. And for those that have, for whatever reason, not downloaded yet Born to Crow, please do it and share it with everybody you can. You'll love the song. There's no way you won't. And if you hear it every day on our show as well. A couple other things going on with Michael too. We're going to let him promote that in just a minute. But I got to ask you about this. Let me squeeze this into. Craig says, whoa, just checked out Channing Wilson. Dude has got some old school pipes. He does. I remember when he sang at Patrick's wedding, Michael, my wife looked at me and I had a tear in my eye. And she said, are you crying? And I was like, no. And she said, like, she thought I was crying over Patrick and Lauren. I was like, no. He's an idiot. I've already done this. He's doing it twice. I was like, this is too good. I can't help myself. Like that whatever Born to Fly or whatever he's saying.
It's a beautiful day for flying is the name of the song. Yeah.
Whatever. It was that was a moment. That was
that is actually a very simple and amazing song. And to bring it back, Phil, to what you were asking, during Hurricane Dorian. So Patrick has been tied in with Hopetown in the Bahamas. And during some help and cleanup, he and Channing and Wyatt Durrett. Wyatt is a multi-CMA song writer and Song of the Year winner. Pretty much every Zac Brown song that you know that's worth a damn, Wyatt had a hand in writing. But the three of them flew down to help do some music and do some things for Hopetown. And one of their friends, as they were getting on the plane, said, "Man, it's a beautiful day for flying, isn't it, boys?" And that's where the song came from. But it's it's an allegory for falling in love. So it's a beautiful song, and I think Patrick's putting it out later this year. So keep an eye out for that one, because it is a really, really, really beautiful song.
Oh yeah, it is. It's sensational, and he is too. Channing Wilson's sensational. His new album's great. All right, so I got to get to this. So back, I think it was 08 or 9, somewhere in there. It was right around when Steven Garcia first started having some issues, and that were public. And you were on the air. I think it was you and Mike and Deuce in the afternoons.
It would have been Jay.
You and Jay and Deuce.
In
the afternoons.
We
That's
were
who it was
together, and then because I did 6 hours. By the way, from 1 to 7 o'clock, I was on the air every day for almost 10 years.
Yeah. So it was you, Jay, and Deuce. Of course, I know Steven well. Knew him then. And I remember cutting on because I used to listen to y'all every day, and I remember getting out of class, and I cut on the radio, and the breaking news story that I don't even know how you got it, where it came from, was that Steven had shaved his head. And I remember thinking to myself, do you remember this? This became the story. He had cut his hair, and he wasn't the Hercules, Achilles, whatever Roman god he was anymore. And this became this story for like 2 days. Garcia's hair is cut, and people were calling in. Well, maybe this is the turning point in his career, cutting all that hair off. And I couldn't believe, and I remember seeing Steven. I'm like, dude, apparently you're going to be fine now because you've cut your hair. And it's not the beer drinking in the parking lot or any of that stuff. It's now that your hair's cut, everything's good. Right? Do you remember this?
Vaguely. I mean, obviously there were a few more Steven Garcia things that were a little more memorable that maybe took up a little bit more airtime. But yeah, I do vaguely remember that. But yeah, you're right. It's funny how things can take on a life of their own and just become the storyline, and how we can just dig into something that is so innocuous as somebody cutting their hair.
That's my point. It was like, I can't remember what he had done. He had just gotten suspended. And then he cut his hair. I think he maybe had to cut it before Coach Spurrier would let him come back on the field or something, if I remember.
Yeah, well, that was always the thing. Is I remember that was at least part of the coaching from Spurrier was he was trying to, hey, if you look good, you like play good, you're more of a leader, you do X, Y, Z. I think that was part of it with cutting the hair. And then I think the pictures of Spurrier playing for the 49ers back in the day, and he just looked like Garcia. He actually had long hair too. So remember this, Steve? Like, and that's the kind of stuff that I know Steven would throw that right back at him. Like, that's why they always sort of butted heads.
Shoot, it was the 70s, Steven. We all had long hair back then. Smoked Virginia Slims. Drank beer, Bud Heavy out of a tin can.
And I can punt, and you can't, Steven.
Like Leonard Skinner. I'm a punter. All those punters have long hair.
Yeah, dude.
I just started.
That's just a microcosm of what our industry could turn itself into. And you have to kind of entertain it. You don't want to be the jerk that's like, don't ever call me again with telling me that I don't care that he cut his hair. You know what I mean? But like, it just takes on this, you just got to go with it. But I remember hearing you on the air going, okay, so apparently Steven's cut his hair. And then all of a sudden people are calling about the haircut. I mean, it was amazing. But that's, there you go. All right. So this weekend, but you've also got something going on Friday night. And then once again this summer, you're going to bless Columbia with the Nashville Night Series.
That's correct. So we'll go in order. Tomorrow, I will be in Columbia to announce the lineup for Nashville Nights. I can go ahead and say, because we've announced that Channing Wilson will be the kickoff of Nashville Nights on June the 2nd. We're only doing one in Columbia. Steel Hands Brewing, by the way, has 2 locations. They originated in Casey. They have a second location in Greensboro, North Carolina, just across from the Greensboro Coliseum. So all during the summer, I will be Thursdays in Greensboro and Fridays in Casey, bringing songwriters from Nashville down. And I'll play a little bit myself. In each city, I've got a local performer that I'll bring up for a little bit. And then we give away to the Nashville songwriter, storyteller, for an hour and a half. So Channing is going to kick things off on June the 2nd, but in South Carolina, every Friday from 6 to 9 o'clock, I will be out there from June 2nd until August the 11th. So look forward to seeing everybody out there, and we're putting a lot into the promotion of this. Steel Hands is behind it, and the fact that we're doing it for a 3rd year. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. But again, have to wait until tomorrow until I can tell you everybody that's going to be a part of it. But if Channing Wilson kicking things off is any indication, the rest of the lineup is going to be pretty stellar. So I'm excited about that. And then Friday, I will be opening for my buddy Cody Webb, who is a South Carolina native and lived in Nashville up until last year, about 10 years up until last year. But he's had cuts by folks like Luke Combs on Luke's debut album, but family stuff got him moving back close to Minetta, and he's been playing around the Carolinas and in the region here a lot over the last year and change. And I'm excited to open up for him at Ice House Amphitheater in Lexington on Friday, and then of course the spring game will be out there on Saturday.
Oh, now wait a second here. Because I like his music, but isn't Cody a Clemson guy?
He is.
Yeah. Could you, if y'all ever had to fight, you could kick his ass, right?
I'd like to think I could.
Have you been just giving him hell since November? Do you ever just walk in and just be like, "Hey, man, I'll be up on stage in 31 minutes," or something like that?
31 to 30 minutes, maybe. We got. No, but I may use that. I may use that on Friday. But see, that's the thing. Whenever South Carolina wins in that, when you don't have to say anything, it's just sometimes it's just a look, and you're like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. We just take the high road.
Every
9 years we take the high road. So I agree. The road less traveled, literally.
The road less, yeah.
Oh man! All right. Well, can't wait to see you. And I texted you a little while ago. The kids this morning. I keep forgetting to send you that video. I will do it. I promise. I've put an alarm in my phone to try to do it this afternoon or this evening with the children, because you can go to Alexa and say, "Hey, Alexa, play Michael Haney, Born to Crow," and she'll play it. So I'm going to send this video to you.
So weird. It's so weird.
It's crazy, man. I know. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. But look forward to seeing you. Any quick final thoughts on Gamecock football? Undefeated, 11-1. What do you think?
I think I'll be pretty straight on this one. I think the discussion around whether or not Beamer was the right call a couple of years ago before he came in, I think he's proving that he is. And the proof is in the pudding. It might not always look pretty, and I'm curious to see what the new offense will look like. And obviously, that's a huge turning point in his career and his trajectory. So that's the spotlight's going to be on that, and I'm curious to see how that all looks. But man, if they can win 8 games with the offense being as whatever it was for most of the year, then if they actually get their act together, it could be a fun season for sure.
And you're another guy who's known Shane a long time,
mm-hmm.
and I know that he's been very good to you as well. So it's kind of his that's kind of his MO. If he knows you, feel like you know him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I may have told this story. My old colleague and good friend Heath Klein, who is still on 107.5, he went up to Stillwater to cover the men's basketball game against Oklahoma State a few years back when Shane was at Oklahoma, and Shane saw on Twitter that Heath was up there, and he just sent him a message and said, "Hey, let's catch up. Let's go somewhere." And it's not like and Heath will be honest, like it's not like we have a huge relationship or talk all the time or are great friends, but it's just something like that where Shane if he knows you a little bit, he's known you his whole life. And the fact that he thought enough of Heath to say, hey, you're up in my neck of the woods, let's find a way to catch up and meet up. That's just one of many, many, many examples of what kind of guy Shane is behind the scenes.
Well, hopefully this year he'll be a 10-game plus winner for South Carolina. We'll see. They can't lose Saturday. That's the good news. I don't think as long as they're injury free, they can't lose Saturday.
That's
all
the
right,
only
brother.
thing you can lose, man. That's don't get any senseless injuries.
That's exactly right. Well, we've kept you a long time today, 20 minutes longer than I told you we would, but we really do appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you. I can't make it Friday night, but I know a bunch of people will. And definitely Saturday in front of all the Gamecock fans out there in Gamecock Park, as you'll get them going before everybody walks into Williams-Brice. Can't wait, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, looking forward to it, and look forward to seeing all you guys out there. And again, Michael Haney Music on Instagram. That's usually where I post most of my stuff. That's kind of my main social media stuff nowadays. So if you're curious about the Nashville Nights series and you're going to be in the Carolinas this summer, you'll be able to see all of that. And hopefully I can see you Friday night in Lexington, and definitely outside of Williams-Brice on Saturday afternoon.
No doubt, brother. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. Michael Haney, the very multi-talented Michael Haney, who can
great
tell
guy,
jokes. Yeah,
talented songwriter too, tremendous.
He's a great
known him for a long time. That's
Yeah.
all of us have.
Great guy. Good guy.
All right, got to get a.
There you go, Phil. You got it. It's up to you. The last 11 minutes, it's all you.
Your show now, Uncle Phil.
The Phil Show. Let's go.
The Phil Show.
About all
Phil
kind
Show.
of stuff.
Powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, electricbikescharleston.com. Get yours with that tax money today. We'll be right back. Year and the days of being back in the pool and boat are quickly approaching. Many of us don't have the time to hit the gym, but Charleston Fitness Equipment can change that for you. Outfit your home with a treadmill, elliptical, or my favorite, a home rower that allows you to row with the pros all over the world. They have free weights, home gyms, flooring, and much more that makes keeping or getting in shape much more convenient. Located in Mount Pleasant, visit charlestonfitnessequipment.com for more. Get in shape like our Gamecocks. Charleston Fitness Equipment, proud partners of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
Are you looking to buy a new home? Kevin O'Connell with Union Home Mortgage is a local mortgage expert and Gamecocks fan servicing North and South Carolina. Whether you're buying a home, building your dream home with new construction, or turning your equity into cash, UHM's world-class service will ensure you find the perfect mortgage to achieve your home ownership goals. Call Kevin at 803-906-0244 or visit UHM.com today. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS 2229, LONMLS 1772182.
Daddy, I want you to take me to Disney World.
Calm down. JC is here. As y'all know, folks, the family and I have visited Disney World many times, but it can be overwhelming, especially if it's your first time going to the most magical place on earth. I highly recommend wherethisroadleads.com and my friend Cherie, a certified Disney vacation planner. That's right, the mouse has given her permission to book your family vacation hassle-free. You don't know where to go, don't know where to stay, don't know where to eat, don't know what to do. It can be overwhelming. So get on wherethisroadleads.com and schedule your free consultation right now. She can help you out. The prices are very reasonable. You don't pay any extra fees. In fact, she's much more reasonable maybe than booking it straight through Disney. So for your next Disney vacation, or, more likely your first, so you don't panic, go to wherethisroadleads.com and talk to Cherie, certified Disney vacation planner, a partner of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
This is Braylon Wimmer, South Carolina Gamecock Baseball, and you are listening to Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Go Cox!
Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, presented to you by Express Sunrooms of Columbia. And let's see here. I was actually looking at the steelhandsbrewing.com. I thought I'd been there, but I was mistaken. It's in Casey. I was thinking of someplace downtown. But looks like a nice venue.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
Yep. Kreger asked
Mike,
if we have Shane Beamer scheduled to come on.
we will.
Yeah, in time, probably after spring ball.
Yeah, he'll be on. I see. We had him on with us a few times.
Water, yeah.
Shane's good. We'll get him on, but I mean, we do our best to stay out of these guys' way as much as possible as well. But they'll be on soon. They'll be on soon.
Michael Lynn says, "Can you explain what the format of the spring game will be?" They're going to draft teams. It's kind of like Spurrier's spring games. They'll draft 2 evenly matched teams and go that way. It won't be like it was in 2021, where it was basically a scrimmage and a skills challenge. So
right. Yeah, they're gonna. I'm pretty. It's 4 quarters. They what did they? I think they tried a second half.
Running clock,
do the
or
running
10-minute
clock?
quarters, something like that. Yeah. Or 12-minute quarters, something like that. So it should be a fun time. I mean, I don't want to say I didn't get a lot out of the one in 2021, but I got more out of the one in 2022. Of course, that's it. People are asking for assistant coaches to be on. As long as they'll approve it, we'll have as many assistant coaches on as possible. We've already had Taylor Edwards on. I'm sure we could get Derek Moore on to fire you guys up.
And we've been talking about doing some stuff during the summer.
Pete Limbo on, like over the summer, maybe just go make our rounds through it. If they'll approve it, these guys are busy, and sometimes some assistants they don't want to talk. I'm on vacation because these guys don't get a break in the summer like they used to. Like I was talking about the Spurrier era, like they just leave and be like, oh shoot, we're on vacation. We're going to Europe for 8 weeks, but you can't do that anymore because you got a window in July, and that's about it. May is a vacation time, but it's a little bit more college coaching these days. A little bit more taxing with the new recruiting schedule and rules and all that. So.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff kind of that we've got in one big bag here that we're trying to pull out and place all over the place. Let's put it that way without really.
I love our guest list this week, though. Our guest list, you guys, Haney, Orth. Tomorrow we got Chris Phillips' normal Thursday segment. I think.
Do we?
I think Chris. Well, Chris was supposed to text you, but I think he's. I don't know. He's supposed to get in touch with you.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
But just see what he's doing. He's at RBC Heritage. We got him, and then we've got Derek Scott, the play-by-play voice of Carolina baseball and basketball, and we've also got on Friday Stuart Lake, who's awesome to talk baseball, and then we've got the return of Mwando, Michael Flint, to break down the spring game. So that we should have a blast. I think. I'm counting on a blast. I don't know about you guys. By the way, if you guys follow me and try to listen to me, I've got a new weekly gig now. In addition to 107.5 The Game on Tuesday mornings, early as and with Bill and Preston, and then Tuscaloosa with Whip Sanderson and Barry Sanderson on Wednesday. I'll now be on at 9:20 Eastern with Bill King. You guys that maybe followed me back in the 24/7 Sports and Rivals days know that I was part of 24/7 Sports Radio on Sirius XM with Bill King. I was on with him last week, and we just said, well, shoot, man, we miss each other, so let's do a weekly thing. So every Thursday I'll be on with Bill King talking recruiting, Gamecocks, baseball, basketball, whatever. I still get questions from LSU fans. What do you think about our quarterback, JC? Beavis, I think he's pretty good.
He's okay.
You said he had a rocket. I want a rocket. I want a rocket. Yeah. Shut up, Beavis. I don't know why. I've started watching Beavis and Butthead again.
Okay.
I was about to ask.
They've relaunched it, and it's hilarious. I forgot how hilarious it was. So.
Yeah, I didn't know if you kicked Coach O to the curb or what was going on here, but
is that on Paramount included with your Big Spur subscription?
Yes, if you join thebigspur.com and pay full price, you get Paramount Plus, and Beavis and Butthead is on that. A lot of good shows on Paramount Plus too. Keith was talking about Rabbit Hole the other day, and that's a pretty stellar one. And one thing about Keith, I'll say, if you haven't subscribed to his podcast, maybe you don't agree with his opinions on sports or life or whatever. That dude is money when it comes to TV shows. I would be a member of his podcast Patreon group just for the TV recommendations if I didn't know him personally. So just a shout out to Keith. I've never watched a show that he said, watch this and gone, this sucks.
Yeah.
I can't say that for everybody. Krager says, what's Bill King on now? He's on a local Nashville station. Go to @BillIsKing on Twitter. So, yeah, and I did turn into the great Cornholio. Cornholio, I am Cornholio. TV format.
Couple of parting shots before we get out of here today. Again, Carolina wins last night. Noah Hall will not pitch this weekend. I would say wait and see at best as to when he will return. But it does appear that Eli Jones will be back in the weekend rotation for South Carolina. I think that although the LSU series was incredibly hyped, it should have been. This will be the most difficult series Carolina has played all season long in Nashville. So we will have plenty on that over the next couple of days with Derek joining us, and obviously with Coach Lake joining us in those things. So make sure you hang around for that. And then also yesterday, Brian Ellis, if you didn't see this, from Florida Gulf Coast University, which, by the way, I pulled that up on Google Maps. It's in Fort Myers, for those that actually don't understand where it is on the Gulf Coast. It's an awesome-looking campus. You should check it out. Brian Ellis broke the NCAA baseball record of consecutive games on base streak. Last night, although he didn't have a hit, he did walk. That was his 102nd straight game reaching base. He's been on base every game since April 30th of 2021. Nuts. 102 straight. He broke Mark Payton's record. Mark Payton played at Texas. By the way, the record wasn't that old. It was set back in 2014. But this kid, Brian Ellis kid, is like a career 330 hitter. He has been there, though, since 2018. He's a 6-year grad student. So hats off to him, but pretty incredible record. Thanks to Michael Haney and Perry Orth. If you happen to miss either one of those, a lot of fun. Went in a couple of different directions with Haney today. For anybody that loves music, you'll really enjoy that. And, of course, Haney loves his Gamecocks as well. So make sure you check it out and go see Michael when he's in town this weekend. He's a great Gamecock, and he's done some wonderful things in his career, and we're really, really happy for him. So follow along with that. As JC pointed out, Derek Scott is going to be with us tomorrow, and we're looking forward to that as well. It is a beautiful day in the great state of South Carolina, so I hope all you can get outside and enjoy it. For JC and Dr. Phil, Classic Phil. I am JB. We're painted Garnet and Black by a couple of painters. LetMePaintSomething.com for anything you need painted at your home, business, or anywhere else. See you tomorrow on Inside the Gamecocks, the show.